Shock Treatment the movie is rated PG, but Shock Treatment Minute is rated F for
Forgotten!
We're going to spend this time discussing the movie in gory detail, and along the way we'll talk about adult content and use adult language. Consider yourselves warned.
Welcome to Shock Treatment Minute, the only podcast where we discuss shock treatment in excruciating detail, 1 minute at a time. I'm one of your hosts, Kelly.
And I'm your other host, Leandra.
And today, it's just us for the first time in 4 minutes. Or wait, 6 minutes.
6 minutes?
Yeah, we had Oscar for 4, didn't we?
That is true.
But they are both institutionalized now. So, it's just us.
Yeah, and I am more committed to you than they are to this mental institution.
We'll have to work the subject is committed into our wedding vows.
It's so true.
But today we're discussing minute 21.
That is true. And you know what? I have the gift of song prepared.
Oh!
That's not true.
No! Sing the summary.
Janet's parents. No, I'm kidding.
I would actually love it, unfortunately.
Maybe next time. No. Okay. Minute 21. Janet's parents continue their stint on Marriage Maze. There are 24 seconds left on the clock when Harry says, "Oh yeah, I'd forgotten." And Emily nervously responds, "Well, I hadn't. I was worried about the inherited craziness when they married." Harry gives a puzzled look. "I said to Janet," Emily continues, "what do we know of his parents?" Bert says, "Which leads us to..." And Emily looks up with her mouth open like a freshly caught fish, while the announcer says, "This afternoon's surprise prize, Bert," which is a delirious stay in that evergreen series Happy Homes, with unlimited use of a new dream kitchen. With 5 seconds left on the clock, Emily says, "Infantile regression?" And Bert stiffly moves his face in the direction of Emily, and after a pause says, "You got it!" Flashing on the screen are the words jackpot and happy homes, just flashing back and forth during this next bit, along with cheerful carnival organ music. Emily screams, "I got it! I got it!" And Harry says, "She got it! She got it!" And Emily screams, "I got it!" twice more, jumping up from her seat and hugging Bert around the neck, while Harry says, "Hey Bert, how about that? She got it!" And as Bert maneuvers Emily off of him and toward Harry, he continues, "Congratulations, and it's happy homes to Harry and Emily Weese of Denton." We see that Emily has been given a large bouquet of red and white flowers, and Brenda, the cheerleader, helps move Harry and Emily down the labyrinth into the Happy Homes corridor. Harry takes a moment to cheer and fist pump the air before he exits down the corridor, and we see, as you've called it so beautifully, Bert's terrible rictus of a smile once more. Then we see Farley smiling in his booth, and he says, "Ha, ha," while pointing at the screen.
Ha, ha.
It's true, that's what he says. Exactly like that. We see a rerun of the stunning win, and Emily screaming, "I got it," from a small TV screen. A hand turns off the TV, and it is revealed that we are now in Cosmo and Nation's office. Bert is seated in front of the desk, Nation is behind the desk, having just turned off the TV, and Cosmo is standing up looking at a file, a life contract, next to a filing cabinet. Bert yells, "She got it! She got it! They won! Infantile regression!" And Nation shrieks with joy, "Ah, our specialty!" And that's the end of the minute.
I am going to say she does not say specialty. That is the word, but what Nation says is speciality. Why?
I don't know. I'm not
That's
upset that she does it, though. It is not the weirdest way that anybody is speaking in this minute.
Yeah, I like, that's a silly way that Patricia Quinn chose to pronounce that, right? She doesn't think it's pronounced that way.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Although, speaking of weird ways to pronounce things, and I'm not yet going to talk about pronouncing Weese.
Okay.
Having heard Emily Weiss say, I said to Janet, what do we know of his parents, like 30 times, it sounds in that, just isolating that line, it sounds like she's doing a Werner Herzog voice. She says, I said to Janet, what do we know of his parents? And once you hear it, you can't unhear it that way, unfortunately. Or maybe fortunately.
Yeah, I mean, to me it sounded almost like a almost New Yorky attempt.
It's it's
She's
something.
yeah, she's attempting an American accent, that is for sure. Speaking of that, I guess Jared's parents never approved of Brad. We definitely get that in this movie, and that sort of makes sense, but it's because he's adopted?
Imagine that being the reason.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess like well, what do you think the reason should have been?
No, I mean, I'm sure that there are plenty of reasons that a parent would have problems accepting a partner. I just think that it's not valid for it to be that he's adopted.
Yes, agreed. But is that a normal thing? I mean, I guess for like a stuffy upper class like old money type, that would be something to look down on, I guess.
Well, if you're looking at the importance of being earnest and
And
you find
I know
out that,
you are.
and we all are, always, when Lady Bracknell is interviewing John Jack Ernest Worthing in Act One, and he says, I don't actually have parents. I was found. She goes, found? And then, of course, when he says that he was found in a handbag, she goes, a handbag? But all of this is shocking, less because of how that happened and more that he doesn't know his parentage at all. And she acts like that is the worst thing imaginable. And she's like, no, you can't marry Gwendolyn.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, definitely back in those days, because back then there was an idea of actual breeding affecting whether you basically deserved to be aristocracy or like a servant or whatever, you know? So that, I mean, and I guess in a way that carried over to the United States.
I mean, I guess they're concerned that he's not country club material.
Yeah, it's possible. So I just thought that was an interesting bit of culture. I was trying to think of like references from roughly around that time that would support or negate that theory, but I couldn't think of any examples of adoption in media and the reaction of upper class Americans.
Listeners, if you have a pre existing dislike and distrust of people who are adopted, before you go fuck yourself, could you explain why?
Or if you happen to have any firsthand knowledge of this, I'd be curious to know. But regardless, they got it right. And yeah, I fully believe at this point that they could have said anything and Bert would have pronounced them victorious. He even kind of hesitates for a second, like, whatever. And then he goes, yeah, infantile. And like infantile regression doesn't make any sense for anything, you
No, not
know?
even a little bit.
Yeah.
And My note is this infantile regression. It was literally any answer. They said words. He
Yeah.
paused. He went, sure, why not?
We have Emily literally echoing Janet's "I got it" from the wedding scene. It even kind of like it's even like the same cadence, you know?
It really is. This was so clearly a an homage to that scene, and even Harry gets in on the action, and yeah, it's very clearly another beautiful reference to Rocky.
I'm a little embarrassed to admit this, but I have the clap. No, but I'm a little embarrassed to admit this, which, by the way, if you have the clap, you should not be embarrassed, but you should go to the doctor.
It's only embarrassing if you share it with others
Knowingly.
knowingly.
Yeah. But anyway, I never really noticed how many like oblique little references to Rocky are in this movie until I started analyzing it minute by minute.
I think that that can be said of a lot of things about shock treatment, like not just the references to Rocky, but just the homages to different things, the different things that Brian Thompson is referencing in the set design. It really is a referential and reverential sort of script to the different things that it is referring to, other than Nazism, of course. Not reverential
Yes.
of that.
No. But yeah, so I'm impressed every day at how much richer the movie was than I even thought.
Agreed. This really is a fun movie that has so many layers. Some
Yeah.
would say like a parfait,
Yeah.
not like an onion.
No, not everybody likes onions.
Yeah, but a parfait.
Yeah. Also, I just love that Richard O'Brien uses kind of a different tone of voice for his narration in this minute, and it's so funny to me. It's so like sniveling,
It really
you know what I
is.
mean?
It's pangolin energy.
You can hear the simper
Yes, absolutely.
in this evergreen series, Happy Homes.
Although when you say it like that, it sounds almost comic book guy.
Almost what?
Comic book guy?
Actually, coincidentally, I literally just this morning watched the first episode which Comic Guy appears in, which of course is three men in a comic book. And I noticed how very different his voice was at the beginning. Even though I think it was still Hank Azaria, but he just hadn't quite landed on the official comic book guy voice. Anyway, I'm great at accent work.
You are. You really are. You're very brave for trying out things, trying to make it work. I'm not I'm not putting myself out there like that. You're the real hero.
Thank you, thank you.
But how would you pronounce the last name of Harry and Emily?
Well, I would pronounce it Weiss well, first of all, because there is a grocery store named, and everyone calls it Weiss. But also in the movie Rocky Horror, we get confirmation from Janet that it is pronounced Weiss. She even corrects Brad. However, are you about to tell me that the correct German pronunciation is Weiss?
No, I
Oh,
was
okay.
just trying to understand if there was an argument to be made that it would be Weiss, but I really don't think it that there is a reason. It's
I mean, I guess we technically don't know if it's the same in this universe, but in the Rocky universe, at least this family pronounces it Weiss. I don't know how to pronounce German, so I don't know if it's like a Dr. Seuss situation. If you didn't know, listeners, his name was pronounced Seuss. That's how he pronounced it. But
which is so weird because it's also not his real name. So, well, I guess that means that he can pronounce it however the hell he wants.
yeah, I mean, either way, he can pronounce it in however the hell he wants, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things where that is how it should be pronounced, but to an American reader, it doesn't look that way, and so nobody picked up on that, and it has been lost basically to time. So really, it's soisicle. But I think it was just another case of Bert's silly pronunciations, but who knows? Listeners write in. Also, fuck Dr. Seuss.
I won't. He's
Some
dead.
good books, but kind of an asshole.
Yeah. But those are all my notes. Do you have any callbacks?
Well, once again, I have a callback guess,
Okay.
which I've sort of already alluded to, but I'd be quite surprised if nobody makes a Who's Got the Clap reference.
Agreed. I feel like it's right there. It's not in the notes that I was looking off of, but that doesn't mean that other people haven't gotten there. It seems like such an obvious one.
Well, you heard it here first, listeners. You should do that.
Yeah.
It's even funnier in this one than in the wedding scene because they even like the husband joins in. She's got it. Like we've got, it's so and then like we even go to in the next minute Bert and Emily, like Bert and Nation, she got it. So there's a lot of celebration of the clap if you do it in this one.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
So, starting from the top, Harry says, "Oh yeah, I had forgotten." And you shout, "How can you forget your own asshole?" And then, "What do we know about his parents?" And to that you shout, "They died laughing." And when Bert says, "Which leads us to," you can either say Oz or God, or then you can say, "The secret password for today is infantile regression." And then if you go with that one, you can really just through this like whisper chant, infantile regression, infantile regression, infantile regression. And then when the announcer says the delirious stay in that evergreen series, Happy Homes with unlimited use of a new dream kitchen, you shout compliments of Barbie. And through this, you're still chanting infantile regression. And then Emily says infantile regression, and then you start cheering. But it's at this point that you would also go, "Who's got the clap?" And then Bert says, "You got it." And then if you're going through the "Who's got the clap," you'd obviously reference that between all of these other lines, like, "Are you sure? I got it. I got it. She got it. She got it." Or you can say Emily fake an orgasm, and that's when she's freaking out and going, "I got it. I got it."
So this was in your callback script.
I added it.
Oh, very smart.
Yes.
Anyway, go on.
Yes. And then the screen displaying the jackpot and happy homes, you shout over and over, "Jack off happy homos, jack off happy homos." It's fun. And then when Harry says she got it, you say, "Now everyone's got it." And for congratulations and it's happy homes to Harry and Emily Weese of Denton, you say Weiss. I feel like there's some way, and listeners, maybe you can help us out. There should be kind of like the magenta, like vagina, like Calvin Klein, kinda, but with this, so like Weiss, like ice, like sporty spice, or something like that. I don't know. Do something funny. Let us know in a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. And then when Farley says "ha ha," you say "must see TV my ass." And then the final one that you can say is "Hey Emily, show us your titties." And it's because when you see the recap, it's when she's going, "I got it," and she's like squeezing her chest in a very exciting way. But those are all of the callbacks that I have.
Wonderful.
Which I guess means that I need to ask you a question.
Yeah.
No.
What? What's the question?
Does this bird belong to you? Did you just fart?
No, that was Bambi. She was like, what the hell? I'm okay, Bambi.
Oh. A handbag? It's like GIF versus GIF.
Well, no, because GIF is the only correct
Right.
pronunciation,
And
and
just because
yeah.
the initial person said, I think it should be pronounced GIF, that
Oh
doesn't
yeah,
mean that it's true. Like it is pronounced GIF.
it's true,
It's not giraffe. It
and
is giraffe.
it's
Ah,
it's
keep that.
soisicle the moisicle.